But what you can expect from the session is everything to do with CVs, everything to do with understanding your key skills, and also everything to do with understanding what a cover letter is all made up of. Also, we'll go into the next steps from the session, what you can expect post session as well. So I'm just admitting two more people in the session, and I will leave the little icebreaker that I've put inside here for them to just talk about that in just a second. So we've got Florence and iPhone. Can you just reveal who you are? Sorry, I've got
Hello?
just names. Florence, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Cool. Okay. And iPhone, can you just reveal your name? Sorry, that's right. I'm just unsure who iPhone is.
I think it might be me, and that's Rueda, but I'm not sure if that's me. I think it
Uh,
could be, to be honest.
Say that again. It could be what? Sorry.
I think it could be Rueda.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got that here. Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to double check who it was. That's all. Yeah, that's completely fine. I've got that here. Yeah.
Ah, yes, it
Okay.
is me because I don't have a name on there. Sorry about that.
No, no worries, it's all good. All right. So I was just speaking to everyone in the room just about a few questions that I'm getting everyone to kind of fill out, field of media, where you're based and how you heard about the event. So I'm gonna get yourself and Florence to just do that just in your own time. And then as we get into the next, which is a bit of an icebreaker, just understanding your hobby and what you have hope to get out of the session, you can then obviously talk a bit more about that as well. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps.
Cool. All right. Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen with everyone. Okay, and just bear with me. I've got my two screens here. Debbie, I've just seen you join as well. Nice for you to join us. Okay, I've just left something in the chat which you probably will see is just about your field of media, where you're based, and how you heard about the event. So if you just jot that down in your own time, and then we'll come back to that in just a second, just to kind of understand to get to know everyone in the room. Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk to you about the session, Dana Fusivi Workshop. So what is Dana Fusivi Workshop all about? So we've been running this actually since October 2023. So yeah, it's been going on for quite a while actually. And it's been amazing. We've met a lot of different young people from all walks of life. Some based in London, some based abroad, some based just outside London. And what's been amazing is that we've met a lot of young people in various areas of media. What you can expect from today, just oh, just going to oh, wait, my computer's really sorry about that, everyone. I'm just going to talk to you about what you can expect from today in just a second. Sorry. What you can expect from today is obviously we're talking about CVs, we're talking about obviously your key skills, talking obviously about what you can expect in a profile, what employers are actually looking for, and then most importantly, how to actually land that job, how to actually get to that next step of your career. But as obviously everyone's in here, I just want you to. I probably ruined my hobby because you've just seen a little snippet of it. Apologies, my technicalities on my side, but I want you just to kind of jot down whether you are a hobby and then what you hope to get out of the session. And why this is important to us is because what we do every single Dynamic TV workshop is just to understand what your objective is, what you'd like to take away. So we can always help and implement that even during the session, but even post session when you are able to catch up with us per session. So does that all make sense to everyone in regards to just a small icebreaker? If that all makes sense, can I get a thumbs up from everyone, or you can feel free to use the chat box as well? Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then, as I said, Debbie, Florence, and Wade, you can also add in the start bit, your photo media, which I'll go around and obviously ask as well where you're based, how you heard about the event. Give you all a minute or so to do that. Um, Debbie, hobbies includes today's tennis and yoga. Interesting. I'm into yoga myself as well. It's good for it's for the body and the mind. Good. Okay. Okay, so feel free to place the hobby and website session, obviously, in the chat box, and also I'll read out, and then obviously we can go around the room and discuss your objectives and stuff. Okay, based on that. Okay, cool, perfect. Now it's probably include art. I'm very into drawing. Okay, perfect. Cool. Gym, acting, film, and TV, sports. Major writing, photography. Okay, okay. What about the event through the school newsletter? Okay, cool. Okay. I need to draw. Film, TV. Okay, cool. Anyone else I'm waiting on? I think, yeah, Debbie, you said your bit as well. Okay. I should go to the gym and watching films as well as sports. Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. Okay. Oh, if we create live in progress. Okay, cool. All right. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Okay, cool. So, um, okay, cool. I think that is everyone, if I'm correct. I believe it is. Yeah, unless everyone's still sort of having this stuff. Okay, cool. All right. So thanks for sharing that. It's good to do that because it allows us to understand who's in the room. Um, as mentioned earlier, just before we started the session, as we go into the session, feel free to turn your cameras on. You can, it's completely up to you. Of course, it's all about networking. We're going to get you into breakout rooms during the session as well. So you'll be able to network with each other as well. So feel free to obviously turn on cameras, or obviously you can feel free to leave them off and connect in the chat room as well. A hobby of mine, which I've probably ruined already, and you've probably seen already, just to get myself involved, I like to jog. I'm big on jogging. I completed the marathon, well, half marathon, I should say. Two of them now. I'm not doing anymore. It was grueling. But what I hope to get out of the session for me, is to be able to tap into your pain points, which I'm very sure as we go through the session, we'll be able to understand what your pain points are when it comes to actually writing a CV, what you sort of go through when it comes to actually applying for that role, how you put yourself forward out there when you're actually trying to, put together a cover letter, um, even when it comes to putting your best self forward on your CV. So that's really, really important. Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to run through with you what you can expect from today. We've just done a bit of icebreaker. What you can expect from today is what you can see in front of you. So we have something called the opener line, meter the profile, and the killer line. Now, these three areas, now wherever you are, you can also jot down notes. This has been recorded, so Nicole, our comms leader, will send this out to you or myself. I'm happy tomorrow next week, but again, still feel free to take notes and ask questions. But those three areas there form your profile. We're going to really tap into your profile today to understand exactly what our employers are looking for when it comes to actually putting yourself out there and actually making you stand up from the crowd. There's a section also called starting from scratch. Now, this is ideally for anyone that is, just starting out. Could be transitioning from a whole different, career, whole different industry, and it's really important that we place that in there, just because not everyone could just be, oh, I'm into media. You could be coming from construction. You could be coming from, a whole different field of media. We're going to go into your key skills, and then we're going to go into the cover letter template, and then we'll recap on the activities, just to ensure that you understood everything that we went through. Does that all sound good to everyone? Can I get a thumbs up? Any questions so far? I can go into the session. Okay, cool. All right, perfect. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go into is the CV activities, which is the profile. So open line, meet the profile, and killer line. So we're going to go into the open line first. And what I'm going to show you right now is what the open line is all about. I'm going to show you an example from one of our young people, a before and after. Allow you to sort of just skim read it, look at it, think about what differences you see between the two, and then actually go through, the group and to kind of understand where your passion started. So the open line is all about showing where your passion has started within the media industry. Everyone in here is into different things. Some TV and film, some art, and other areas, writing, etc. So where did that passion really start? Where did that come from? So we're gonna run you through an example and go around the room and actually just think about where your passion started. Then get into breakout rooms to kind of connect to each other to discuss that open line. So this is what an open line looks like. Just remember, this is part of your profile. So what you're seeing is part of the profile. And if you see it in really big, it's just because it's on Canva and it's sort of been blown up a bit. So don't worry about it being a couple of lines, etc. But I just want you to kind of read the before and the after, right? Look at the two. And then what we're going to do as a group here, we're going to just kind of discuss what you're taking away from Aisha's opening line, the before and after. So I just want you to kind of have like a couple of minutes or so just to do that. And I'm going to ask a volunteer or two to just think about what did you take away from the open line. How's everyone feel about that? All good? Feel free to put a thumbs up or you can use a chat box as well. Okay. Perfect. Just think about the keywords and what you're seeing here and what differences you can see between Aisha's before and after. The after gives more personality than the first. Yeah, definitely. Florence, you want to elaborate on that? Do you want to do that through audio or completely up to you or through chat, however you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it through audio. In the first one, they're mainly just saying things that pretty much everyone would say. Like everyone in the beginning of the CV would say, I'm very hardworking, I'm this, but it's very
Hmm.
overused. But in the second one, they talk more about them as a person, like coming from an ethnic minority household. It gives more
Hmm.
personality, like it's more to them than just I'm hardworking. It's like, this is where I came from. Um,
Yeah,
and also just talking about traditional roles as well. I feel like that's a
yeah,
very good subject to touch upon.
yeah. No, definitely. And one thing we spoke to Aisha about, thanks for raising up, is that everyone does say they're hard work, everyone does say that they're dedicated and they're determined, but employers want to see how you've shown that. And yeah, Debbie's just mentioned the second one's a bit more personable. Yes, what it does, it shows why Aisha's doing what she does and what got her actually starting to it, not making it too personal, but making it in a sense where this is where my journey started. This is exactly where it started for me. And for me, as you said, that before was mainly just listing stuff. Yes. And you know, just to add to that, in regards to what everyone's mentioned, you can say you're journalism graduate, you can say you're seeking these journalistic skills, but what we've mentioned to Aisha, and actually I don't want to give away too much actually. What do you think Aisha's done in there before, which kind of shows an employer? There's like a word I'm looking for. If you think about that first line, anyone want to give a little yeah, that just that first line that she's mentioned in there before. If you think about like your education section, I should say.
Oh,
Um,
is it because she's talking about the multimedia broadcasting? Like that's where she graduated from, like what she got.
yeah, yeah. And what we mentioned to her is that you can say that, but it needs to be just be in your education because what it is, if you say it in your profile, you're sort of repeating yourself, so it's repetition. So you lose the whole sort of standing out from the crowd. It's great to say that you're a journalism graduate, but then when you say it in your education, and then obviously, when you study, where you studied, what projects you done, perhaps, that's okay. But when you say it in your profile, then you lose the bit where you can actually talk about those amazing things that you've done, like her going to BBC Studios, or just her kind of, not understanding that there's these roles available, but actually going out there and actually finding that out, if that makes sense. Um, cool. Okay. Anyone else have anything to say about the before and after? Okay, cool. All right. So what I'm gonna do, is just go around the room really briefly, just ask some volunteers just to think about your opening line. Now, this is not a thing where we expect you to write up your full-blown opening line. We want you to kind of think about this as you go into breakout rooms in just a bit. I'm just gonna go around the room just to get you to think about where did your passion start. So Florence, you're at the top, so I'm gonna start with you, then I'm gonna just ask another volunteer anyway. You obviously mentioned that you're into art and drawing, if I'm correct, video editing, photography, if I'm
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Cool. So let's just talk about that really briefly. And what is it that is like your main passion? Where did it all start for you within art and drawing? What I'll do as well is kind of probe you with a bit of stuff where it
yeah,
could be that it could be that maybe you have perhaps got into art or drawing through a particular artist. Maybe that inspired you, or going to a particular exhibition. Does that make sense? So just kind of
yeah,
giving you,
yeah. I understand.
yeah.
Oh,
But again, just letting you kind of go in and talk
my
about where your passion started.
my main passion is like video and film, but when it comes to drawing, my inspiration was mainly my parents, to be honest. Like growing up, I came from a very artistic household. Like everyone in my family knows how to draw or do something like with
Okay.
painting and art. So I feel like just growing up, like it's just always been a thing where I just had this obsession with drawing.
Mhm.
Like as a kid, I used to draw a lot, especially like I would go to art, well, not like art competitions. Like I remember this one time in
Okay.
year two, I got invited to this art competition by my teacher because she really loved my drawings and she was like, you should definitely pursue it. And even though I don't do it as much as I do today or like plan on pursuing it as a career, I think it's just
Hmm.
something nice that I have there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much
Cool.
why I just enjoy it.
Okay. Cool. That's really good for you to share that. Thank you very much for that. And what I would say, even adding to that, is that when you talk about it being like a learned habit, or everyone was in the household was artistic,
Yeah.
what's the great thing that you can even add to that is perhaps there was a particular drawing or particular painting that you may have put together that has really stuck with you, and that you can
Hmm.
obviously uh add that in the profile, so those sort of things. So but yeah, you're on the right track there, and you can see that what you're doing now is actually creating a story for
Hmm.
yourself within art and drawing. Is that making sense?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
cool. Finley, I'm gonna go over to you. Um, just in regards to, I know you said you're into sport, if I'm correct. Uh, Let me just make sure I get that right. To be fair, no, sorry, you want to
Yeah,
get into filming? Yes, I think you said
yeah,
sport,
so
but
that was
film and
right.
TV and TV drama as well. So, before we get into those breakout rooms and stuff, showing where your passion started within film and TV and TV drama. What is it? What kind of got you into that sort of genre, I guess.
It was more of a gradual thing, I think, really, from doing
Okay.
I chose media as a subject in when I did like GCSEs, I did it as like a BTEC, and then like I enjoyed that and carried it on into A level, and then
Okay.
yeah, so and then I went and did it at university as well, and I think that's kind of where it probably when I was around loads of other people that were also into like film and TV. That
Okay.
kind of elevated it even more. But I don't know. I wouldn't. There's not like one kind of pinpoint uh
Okay.
moment where I kind of know that it came from.
Cool.
But
What
yeah,
I would say is that to help you with that thing is when you chose media as a subject, there was perhaps maybe a particular perhaps when you're obviously watching TV and film at home, there was perhaps a particular movie, drama, film, etc. that you may have watched that sort of you thought one day, oh, I'd love to work on that sort of set. I'd love to understand how that all comes together. So it could be your favorite drama. It could be something that you was introduced to. It could be something that you watched online because obviously now even TV you can watch things online and people don't really have time to actually turn on their TV and watch something. It could just be something that you're watching on YouTube, for example. So it could be anything from that. And really going back to that, kind of like what was your favorite show or your favorite, something that you kind of grew up on, for example. Like, I mean, if I really want to go back into it, like if it comes to like comedy, I'd say for me, it'd be like your Keenan and Kel, for example, like Nickelodeon, when you had the Drake and Josh and that sort of stuff. But I'm really being really specific and going into like the things that I enjoy. But I'm just kind of giving you like a sort of just a base of like maybe there was something that you kind of came across in that sense.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah. I get what you mean. Thank you.
cool. Okay. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I haven't obviously gone through everyone. We've tried to make it as personal as possible within these sessions. But what I'm doing is just writing in the group chat the open and line activity that you will do. So I'm gonna get into breakout rooms and get you split you all together. I think there's about eight, six in the room, five, I think. So I'll probably do a group of I'll do two. Yeah, I'll do like two and two. So, because I think obviously, yeah. So I'll do your work in pairs, and basically, I want you just to think about where did your passion start. Now, when you go in the pair with the person that you paired up with, just think of jotting it down first, not actually writing a full blown sentence because we'll help you with that post session as well. I'll talk to you about what happens actually post session. But I want you to kind of go away and think about where did my passion start when it comes to writing, drawing, filming, TV, marketing, whatever it could be. It could be a public figure that you followed. It could be your favorite artist. It could be a favorite TV show. It could be an exhibition. It could be an event. You could have stumbled across media, for example. So just think about those things. And when we come back, we're going to actually talk about those things and actually just think about what you wrote down. So does that all make sense to everyone? And just to give a thumbs up in the chat. Okay. Example to make personal. Just want everyone just to see that in the chat here. I'm just sending that over now. Show where the passion started, bring the example to make it personal. So just think about that as I get you into breakout rooms. So just bear with me for a minute because this is where the technical side of things start. Okay. So, okay, Debbie, Fermin, I'm going to put you together. And then Inly and Florence, I'm going to put you together. Okay, cool. I'm going to give you all about, is that 10 minutes or so just to do that? And then I'll bring you back in. Then we'll go into the next activity, which is called Meet the Profile. So, yeah, happy networking. I can see. I think I've lost someone in the session. I just realized that.
Oh no,
Um,
you've kicked them off.
no, no, no. Sorry, I think the person had iPhone. I think I lost them. Wader, that's it. 'Cause I was thinking I thought there was about seven people in here. So yeah, because I was gonna do three and two, but hopefully she comes back. Sometimes that happens. People they would connection and stuff can be bad. But
Oh,
ideally I'd push her to the next session if anything, because she did attend. So yeah.
So if people sign up but don't show up, what does that?
If people sign up but don't show up at all, we'll give them the opportunity to join our next session. Give them that opportunity to kind of you're able to move your ticket to the next session.
Mhm.
But we need confirmation from them that they want to attend that next session, if that makes sense. Just
Yeah, yeah.
because for example, like Wade is attending today. This happened before someone in the past where they dropped out just due to like internet connection. They might send us an email say, oh, you know, but what we'll do is push her to the 6th of Feb event.
Mhm.
Um, hoping that I believe she's based in London, so because some people are based outside. So what we'll do is push to either the in person or the online one, which will be in a month's time now because of
Yeah,
that one's in
yeah.
Feb. So yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So
And how
yeah.
how many were you expecting for today?
Today 7. So I'm missing one, two, and yeah, 3. But we did send kind of the invite, so people did like accept, but then
Mm.
it's like, I mean, so basically altogether
Oh, yeah,
expecting 7, but then 5 have turned up, but then
yeah.
waiters dropped, so now there's 4. So it's a good turnout.
Yeah.
It's great when when you get like quite intimate as well.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, that it does happen sometimes. I think Debbie kind of came in late, but um yeah, I'm sure she'll sort of catch up with some stuff and help her along the way as well. So yeah,
Oh well, I mean that's just how they operate, isn't it? That's fine. I think
yeah,
fours
yeah,
are good. It's really good.
yeah,
I enjoy myself.
yeah.
Desperately
That's
find
good.
out to
That's
answer
good.
your
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, no, it's one of those ones where you do your best to try to keep people engaged, especially when you're doing online sessions. I think that's something that I've luckily learned along the way, like the icebreaker at the start, and
Mhm.
I think it's important everyone knows, not everyone in the room. Like at the end, we'll tell everyone to exchange their social medias and stuff and put it in the chat box. And um, either way, all these young people will be in a group chat post this session, so they become Dan
Oh,
approved, and but we'll do like a one-to-one with them and stuff. But
mhm.
um, I think obviously, yeah, it can be quite difficult because, like, for example, I think yeah, Finn's from like Middlesbrough, and then Florence is London, and then Debbie's like Fermin is London. So like, yeah, everyone's sort of um various locations, but it's good because it kind of shows that we are hitting the right places and just
Mm.
yeah, all on the round really. So yeah,
I mean, there's stuff going on all over the country, so it's sort of great, and they might not be able to connect
yeah,
like
yeah,
in person, but it's great for them to um, have that connection elsewhere because you never know where it's going to take them, really, do you?
yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I wish I could have if this was in person, obviously they're probably gonna get a bit jealous at the end because I'm gonna show them the brownie stuff. Just because obviously like the Alta Pizza sponsor us, so like we show there's 2 girls that done like a video where they won the pizza basically. So they done like a social media reel.
Yeah.
Um when at the end of the night always show that everyone's like, oh, you're a brownie now, Dan, and I'm gonna have to post it to you now. But yeah, the brownies are really good from Yard Sale Pizza. So
No, I'm
but yeah.
gutted. We've got an event that got put in on your when you've got your next in-person one, so we weren't going to be able to attend.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
like, but what about the brownies?
Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely try. What I'll do, I can always try save some, 110%. We
But you
get
know
we get
where
like
our
a yeah, we get a batch of them, and they're good to like normally the brownies they're like for a month, so like they would like you can have them in the fridge, and then you can freeze them and keep them for like a month. They have like a sell by date, so
Hmm.
it's because it's got a lot of sugar in it.
Oh yeah,
So
see, I
like
have.
so like
Oh, that's.
after that month, it's like it needs to like just get thrown away, sort of thing. But yeah, all
Can
good.
I ask
But
what's your background? What was the last thing you did in industry? This
initially,
is not like an interview. I just
my
was curious.
last, yeah, so my last thing I did in the industry would be, I'd say probably my short documentary that I filmed. Um, so I done a documentary on can we eat healthier for less. I done that with a couple of creatives. But that documentary was a sequel to my first documentary on is fast food killing British youth that I actually done in university. So I was actually in that documentary while I was working for like small indies while I was like doing like TV adverts and
Mm.
sort of promos for companies. So I was kind of like doing it outside of of work as well. But it was really good because I learned a lot about like um just industry and sort of like docs is what I've always enjoyed as well, you know.
Yeah.
Um feature films, things like that. So yeah. So it was really
Oh,
good. But yeah,
awesome.
yeah, I definitely would like to get back into docs though, 110%. Yeah, I do miss it. I do miss it.
I bet you.
I know at some point I will get back into it when I do have like a lot more time on my hands.
Yeah. What is the
Yeah.
sort of thing
So,
you do in the background, isn't it? Start it now and then you just cut out your time and do it. That'll be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, yeah, just about. I mean, like I'm big on like investigative journalism. So I've always kind of been someone that's like it's like for example, I would love to documentary on like Elon Musk right now what's happening. You know, like or like I'm that sort of person where I just kind of like put together like those different ideas and like for example, there was when COVID happened, I wanted to do a documentary on that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And like I'd have like a hard hitting question and then like just document what, you know, I believe is it's not what I believe is best, but basically I kind of like make sure you get the right interviews and the right
Mm.
sort of you know, information you want to put in there. So yeah, I'm big on docs, yeah.
Oh man, don't give up the dream. I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. No, yeah, it's been I think it's been busy, especially with the next couple of events and stuff. So
Mm.
interesting. Um, I'm just gonna pop into Femin's room because it seems as though I think someone actually there we go. Debbie's just coming, but I've got to put her back in. Yeah, I think she dropped. Okay, now she's back in. Okay, so fine. Yeah, Zoom can be so it's one of those ones. Sometimes you have like it all smooth and planned. I've got like two screens in front of me. It's but I've always had it like that just to make sure that yeah, technically it all goes right, basically. I'm gonna bring them in a couple of minutes time anyway to just go through the first session. First activity.
Sorry, I actually got kicked out of room one.
Yeah, what I'll do, Debbie, is add you into that room now. Just give me a second.
I'm now back in.
Oh, you're back. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know what happened with Debbie. It just
Oh, okay,
one minute I
yeah.
was
So what?
talking, then the next it just like I'm just like by
Yeah,
myself. I could just see myself on camera. I was like, oh, hey,
yeah. No, it's all good. I will get you into a room now. So, one second. Let me just do this. I'll get you into a room right now. Just give me a second. Are you both? You both should be. Yeah, here we go. Okay.
yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah. I need to. Okay. Second.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna give him a bit more time now.
I'm not that familiar with Zoom, so you're already better than I am.
Yeah. So out of all the yeah all the things, I think Zoom is like what I'm very comfortable with. I don't mind Google Meet and Teams, but I think Zoom is just it's just smooth sailing. But it has it has its times when it can be a bit funny. So yeah.
Oh, you're probably right. Because ITV is just Google. That's all we ever use. So it's almost like I've forgotten
Okay.
I had to download it for this. I was like, oh, I've
Oh,
not used
okay.
Zoom in a long time.
No, sorry about that.
Did you put this slide together?
Yeah, so these slides that you're seeing all put together by uh to be honest, Nicole would have brushed this up, so it looked different before.
Mm,
But yeah, so Nicole, if you haven't met just yet, but just commenting,
mm,
she would have put these together and then just broke down the CV in a sense from like the before and then
mm.
the after, as we keep going along. But yeah, it just makes it. I mean, I remember when we were doing like PowerPoints back in the day, and Canva's just where it's at. Like, so
Yeah.
it's just so much cleaner.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's great.
yeah. Um, and yeah, people. I mean, like a lot of young people just like visuals. They kind of want to see someone like them as well. Like just
Hmm.
oh, this is like they can kind of see who this person is and what
Mm,
they've done and where they're at now. So sometimes with the PowerPoint, old PowerPoint style was sort of like you're pitching to them in a sense, and as
yeah.
opposed to telling them a story sort of thing. So we changed our style quite a while back, and then just made it work really. So
Mm,
yeah.
no, that's cool. Suddenly realize I haven't written a CV in a very long time, so I might be able to take some from this.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really good because obviously, like all these young people, some find it through Eventbrite, some find it through like Eric App and other
Mm,
other places as well. So it's Instagram and so it's really good because there's various like companies and that we work with, like Creative License Progress. Um, I just think it's great how people find the session as well. Uh, so we're just trying to really. But I think the first we've had is someone that is from. Yeah, we've had someone from abroad, so like they're joining from, but that's probably been a bit difficult because of like connection and stuff on their side.
hmm.
But it still worked for them. It still worked for
Yeah.
them. So, um, but yeah, yeah,
I guess you don't know what they want to get out of it. It's still really useful, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Just gonna give them a couple minutes or so, and then I'll bring them back in. Yes.
No, I'll just be right back. One sec.
I know. Yeah. No. Is that enough time for everyone? Just double checking.
Yeah, it was all good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I know we had a bit of technical stuff there, but it all worked out in the end. Debbie, I know you just rejoined, I believe. All good on your side, and then Lawrence, you're
Yeah,
back in.
she's just like walking around. So
It's all good, all good. Again, like I said, the session does get recorded, so we will be sending it out anyway. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to Finn. I'm gonna come to you in just regards to what you spoke to Florence about in regards to, I guess, your opening line. So anything that you sort of elaborated on when we just spoke on post session, anything that you sort of any discussions that you had.
Um, yeah, well, just kind of like I was saying, as I said before, it was kind of hard to pinpoint an exact um kind of moment. It was more of a gradual thing, but I suppose the film, well, one of like the films that I studied in when I first started like doing media in GCSE was the Dark Knight Rises, and that
Okay.
was like going through basically you had to as like a coursework part of coursework you had to kind of go through that. I had to go through the film and pick out certain shots and all this, and I think that's
Mhm.
probably doing that was like got me quite interested in like the I don't know, just seeing how many different shots there were and type of shots and like angles and
Mhm.
like you never really think about it when you're watching a film, and that's kind of what opened my eyes to like
Yeah.
how a film's constructed and for certain ways and how that tells a story to the audience and what kind of the different ways you can um tell a story and like connect the audience to your story um
Yeah.
through like the movement of a camera or the framing or um composition and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And what's great as well, you've kind of even gone into like the next bit we're going to go into called meet the profile, because you talk about what actually makes you, ideally, I'd assume what you've mentioned makes you curious about film and TV, drama, action, etc., etc. Telling your story, how it's constructed, the framing, the lighting, perhaps, all those sort of things. And not just watching a film and thinking, oh, I'm just watching a film, and it's like, but actually kind of delving deep into that, understanding why they've made that particular character um have that much power, or why they've made them feel more superior and made that person feel more inferior, less inferior, that sort of sense. But yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think obviously Dark Knight, in terms of what you tapped into there, um, yeah, you can always talk about where that was sort of your entry point into actually understanding film in itself and kind of starting your passion into film as well. Um, so cool. Debbie, if you are able to, just to see what you spoke to Fermin about, um, we obviously the activity was shown where your passion started. So just if you are able to, I know you're kind of walking about and stuff, or if you're able to share that with us, feel free. Um, if not, you can always put it in the group chat. Okay, you can type. Okay, perfect. Okay. So I'll let you type that. We are going to move on to the next bit, but I'll go in back into that anyway, in a second. But that all makes sense in regards to the open line. Everyone feels confident about that. You understand what the open line's all about and what to expect. Yeah. Okay. If I have a thumbs up from everyone, that'll be great. And then I can move on to the next bit. Okay, cool. All right. So as we said, if you're starting from scratch, this is what you can think about. So if anyone was here coming from a whole different area of media, these are sort of this is where this template you can work off. Think about why you want to get into media first of all. Are you practical or theoretical? Now I'm a practical person, so I like to hold a camera, right? Not to say I don't like to do the budgets and stuff for production, stuff like that. I've done that, but I'm more someone that is brainstorming and wanting to get the content out there, right? So this is if you're starting from scratch, if you're into film and TV, or if you're into, marketing or graphic design, whatever it could be, writing, drawing, etc. this is how you kind of start. You're starting from scratch if you were obviously doing that. Okay, so cool. Debbie, I'll just go into that in just a second. Don't get distracted by the gifts, everyone. It's there for a reason. The next bit is called the meat of the profile, right? And the meat of the profile is all about following up from your opening line, and that's explaining what made you curious. Now, curious is the big word here. Curious about what you love doing, right? So I'm going to show you a meat of the profile that I just put together. And I want you just again just to kind of have a read of the before and the after. And then I'll go around the room, also volunteer to just think about what are the differences you see between the two, right? And then we can discuss and actually get you into breakouts again to think about your meat of the profile. And think just to kind of tap into what you said, you kind of actually halfway there, the meat of the profile, because you talked about your shots and the compositions and all that sort of stuff. But again, I'll leave you all just to think about that. Just what are the differences you see between the two, and then we'll just discuss that in just a second. Does that all make sense to everyone? Just making sure everyone's clear on what to do. Yeah. Okay. Okay, perfect. Florence, all good? Furman, all good? Just double checking. Okay. Okay, cool. So, Florence, we're going to come to you. In regards to obviously read before and after, skimmed it. What have you got from um both ends of the stick here? What Aisha's put together for her before and after.
Sorry. All right.
No, no, sorry.
Mm,
So you're still sort of reading into it.
mm. Oh, in the second one, they talk more about what they would um bring to kind of the
You say more what they would bring more to the workplace, you'd say.
yeah, to the workplace. Because
Yeah.
when I read the first one, it's kind of very vague. Like it's sort of similar to the first one, just the repetition about being passionate and hardworking again. Whereas the
Hmm.
second one, like before, they're actually just telling, well, not even telling you more about them, just telling us like what they could, well, yeah, bring to the workplace.
Yeah, yeah. No, 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 I agree with that, definitely. What they can bring to the workplace, what they've sort of taken away from that
Yeah,
journey, being at BBC Studios. Um,
yeah,
De Debbie even also said the second one applies the knowledge is showing, and the first one's telling. Yes, I definitely agree with you with that in terms of it applies the knowledge. So she's put together what she's taken away from the experience and actually showcasing that like what's made her curious. So watching a news package, it could be on BBC Channel 4, whatever it could be, and she's managed to actually look at it and say, you know what, this is sort of what's made me, you know, like intrigued as to what's going on screen, basically. So yeah, you're both on the right path there. Anyone else? Furman, Finn, anything that you took away from this, and then we'll go into the media profile sort of things, or if you no, no, there we go, Finn. Bye.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, obviously, the second one kind of it reminds about the fact that she shadowed like being in the BBC, um, whereas like the first one doesn't really give any. I don't know. It tells them what they're passionate about, but doesn't really give them any clue to what they've done and
Mm,
how that can be used
mm,
in the job.
yeah, 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 no, definitely, yeah. The first one, obviously, we spoke to Aisha about this, and it's more so how she can even move that more towards even the next bit in a sense. You'll kind of see how that kind of comes together. But yeah, as you said, the second one, it kind of, it goes into what she's taken away from that experience, which is really, really key. Okay, cool. So the media profile is what's made you curious about what you love doing. So you know, Florence, you talk about writing and drawing. Finn, obviously, you talk about into film and TV and drama. Um, Furman, you talk about, and I just want to get this right as well. Obviously, yeah, marketing, film and TV jobs, things like that. So, Furman, I'm gonna come over to you and let's just think about your media profile. So you talk about like you obviously are open to getting into marketing, but you're into film and TV jobs, ideally. Uh, so let's talk because obviously that can marry together. That can kind of, when you think about TV and film, marketing has to be in place. If you're getting into like the advertising world, say you're going to promote a new film or you're going to promote a whole new campaign within a certain content, for example. But what's made you curious about marketing, let's say, just because you said you would like to get into that as well?
So because I did like kind of film and TV, and I kind of
Mm.
learned about advertising and just seeing like Mad Men, like the TV show, obviously not seeing Mad Men, like if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like I have to explain it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, cool.
yeah. So just like the idea of it of how like people come up with ideas or like being creative. So
Hmm.
I like to like kind of influence people or like inspire people, I'll say. It's because
Okay.
with my interests, it's like because it was film, TV, acting, sports, they all have something in common with just like inspiring people, like
Yeah.
get like coming from setbacks and just kind of keep going and just to make people feel something. So I kind of want to do that with marketing and kind of being creative and just
Mm.
making ideas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, no, that's really cool. And what I like about what you've actually said, what makes you curious is that you're there to actually allow the audience to go away with learning something, taking something away, and actually um looking at what they're watching as a consumer, the content, and actually thinking about what impact it's doing to them emotionally, perhaps also playing some part in their life. So, for example, I'm watching something called Patience, which is a drama, and it's actually about a girl that's neurodivergent. She's autistic, and um, it's her character is very interesting because it actually taps into a lot of things that we don't see that they might that new divergent person may see, so um I think it's very key and it raises a lot of different issues that we are we might not be sensitive to, so it kind of opens that up, and the way it's kind of filmed and the way the person's character is actually portrayed is really really refreshing as well. So again, that's just me kind of talking about you'll meet the profile, kind of coming from setbacks and keep going and stuff like that. And it actually shows that. So yeah, that's really, really good. Cool. All right, I'm gonna just go to there. I know you can write, but what I'm gonna do is I'll get everyone else in the breakout rooms. Florence, I'll come to you and then I'll get everyone in the breakout rooms. Just in regards to um kind of like for you, we're talking about writing, drawing. What made you curious in regards to um that area of media? Anything that you've kind of, you talked about how you love drawing, you went into art competitions, but my brother's an artist as well, actually. So I always ask him every day like what makes him curious about when he's drawing a particular person or doing a particular art is inspired by something in a particular event that's just happened, etc.
Honestly, my inspiration mainly comes from social media, if I'm being honest. Like, I
Okay.
could be scrolling on Instagram or this app called Pinterest, and I'll see something I really like, because I mainly do anatomy art. So I'll see a piece of
Okay.
anatomy and I'm like, wow, this person drew it so well. And I try to implement it and kind of draw it in my own style. So that
Hmm.
serves as my inspiration. But also my inspiration comes from certain cartoons, like because animation isn't really something that I want to do, but it is also something that I really do um enjoy and like take interest in, like into how it's made. So certain art styles that go into that, like I'll
Hmm.
like I really, if I really like it, then I'll try and see what ways I can try to imitate it. So when it
Okay.
comes to me and art, it's more about imitation, like how,
Hmm.
and kind of just like adding it into my art style, because I don't have a specific art style. It's more just what I see and if I could recreate it.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. And it's good that you're talking about, how you are, how you look at art and how you actually where you get inspiration from, if it's online, if it's in person. So it's like if I was speaking to a graphic designer, I might say, oh, I'm inspired and get my inspiration from seeing campaigns that I see on buses, or um I go to certain events and I see like someone's obviously promoted their event and I see a flyer and stuff like that. So what you've mentioned is really cool because you talk about what you're consuming, but also what things you're coming across on social media. That can be from fashion to health and fitness, even it could be from
Mm.
sports, it could be from anything in those sort of areas, entertainment, etc. That's really, really good. Okay, cool. All right. So what I'm gonna do is get you into breakout rooms again. I'm gonna swap the rooms a bit. But this activity is all about the meat of the profile. I hope everyone sort of understands exactly what it's all about. So what made you curious, right, about what you do? So what made you curious? So that's what you just have to really think about. So I'll just go back just so you can see what it's all about. What made you curious about what you love doing, right? That's basically what the media profile is all about. I'm just gonna send that in the group chat here. And what I'm going to do is just move so Debbie, I'm gonna move you into room 2 with Florence. So and then Finn, I'm gonna move you to room 1 with Furman, right? Does that all make sense to everyone in regards to what to do? Just again, bullet point it, I haven't got to go right full blown profile, but basically just thinking about what made you curious about what you do. We've obviously discussed it a bit, but just kind of go more into it, like network with each other, get to understand a bit more about what you will do. You can help each other in that sense, and we'll come back and discuss, and then we'll go into the last activity, which is the killer line, which we can do actually in the session, and then we'll talk about the next steps in terms of what you can expect from the CV workshop. Cool. All right, I'll give you all about 10 minutes or so to do this. Okay. Uh, in- lost someone. Finn. Uh, where's Finn? Uh, Actually, I think I've lost someone. Finn. It doesn't look like he's in the one of the rooms. So I'm just gonna join Furman in room one just
No
briefly,
worries.
just to help him out. Hi, Furman. How you doing? Sorry, I know it's happened to you a lot today. I put Finn in here, but I'm not too sure where he's gone. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not too sure what's happened. But I'm happy to run through a bit more of you in here and then go back and see if I can get Finn in here. I think he dropped out. I'm not too sure what happened to his connection.
Yeah, I think it's just like people leaving and they're just having to go back in. It's just kind of long.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, obviously you talked about yeah, advertising, Mad Men. I was glad you explained that a bit more. I think I understood. I was like, yeah, I know what he's talking about, the movie. But yeah, how people come up with ideas, how influence people. So yeah, that's really cool because what you can kind of talk about as well, sort of I like to call it like themes. So if you wanted to kind of like tap more into that, like certain themes that you might want to explore that meet the profile. So maybe you could get various themes within different films and in different shorts that you might watch. It could be like family values. It could be anything to do with uh upbringing. It could be anything to do with loneliness. It could be just different things basically that you depends on what you're watching ideally. But you could really bring in that word and actually just maybe even tap into various. So is there any themes that when you've watched or even themes of Mad Men that when you watch this you're like, okay, these are certain things that stuck out to me.
I think it's just like making things catchy, like
Mhm.
having making a hook and just drawing people in and
Yeah.
just being able to kind of entertain people. It's like I was just like kind of looking at my CVs and I think I do have a bit of that.
Okay.
But then again, it's like the same old as a passionate this and the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just I think it's just a matter of like you're saying the right things here and obviously drawing people making a hook and that's what it's about. It's like leaving people um to go away, step away from that screen and feel like, you know what, that film really done something to me. Like it could impact your next couple of days or your evening, just those sort of things. And that's what as a producer, director, you want to be able to do to the audience, depending on what you want someone to take away from what they're watching. It's like what I just said to you, like I'm watching something called Patience, which is on Channel 4. Definitely,
yeah, I've seen it advertised on ITV, I think it was. Or
yeah, it's on Channel 4, but it's really, really good. Yeah, and
oh right, it might be Channel 4 actually.
yeah, yeah, and it's so the girl's called Patience, and I think I know why they called her Patience, like, but also at the same time,
Is she a
I think
police
the way
officer?
so she's a forensic like police officer, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, so she does
Oh,
forensics, but
forensic
she work.
investigator kind of.
Yeah, so she works with the police. So like, but she's not like uh, a fully qualified police officer. So she'll come and do forensic, but she's very particular and meticulous with her stuff. But
Hmm.
she's very clever. So I think it kind of, obviously when you look at like neurodivergence, because she's neurodivergent, it kind of looks into the whole thing of we sometimes overlook that with neurodivergence and kind of see that um I've worked with a lot of neurodivergent people, but also I think you can underestimate how clever they are. Like really, like they're really like aware and just it shows that in the actual drama. And shows how she navigates things, how she does it differently. But it's really cool as to what you can take away from that, and you can learn certain things from her. So yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Uh,
like it sounds inspiring. It's because I'm also kind of neurodivergent. I'm dyslexic and dyspraxic, and
okay.
probably got other things.
Yeah. Cool.
I feel
I
like
guess
it's just
yeah,
like everyone's just kind of getting diagnosed being ADHD or stuff. And
yeah. Yeah, and I think this is where we're, where a lot of the time we're speaking to a lot of companies and ensuring that events that we do and even this is an online event, but even an in-person event, how we ensure that we make it accessible and also inclusive to anyone that is neurodivergent or someone that has a different ability, for example. So we've always ensured that we do that. And if it's sort of asking those sort of questions before the event or post event when it comes to like a one-to-one with us and stuff like that, just to understand how that person best learns. Because obviously, like, especially this is quite a long event, so it's an hour 30, 90 minutes, right? And you always want to ensure that people's attention spans are there and things are quite engaging and all that sort of stuff. So we always look into all those sort of things, how we can improve that going forward. But yeah, does that make sense in terms of what we just spoke about in terms of that,
yeah, no, it
those
does make
themes and
sense. It's
stuff?
just I feel
Yeah.
like I just over explain things. So it's kind of when I'm trying to make a CV, I just end up I'm trying to think how would I kind of put it into words because I've
Yeah.
got like so much in my mind, but it's just like kind of expressing it can be challenging. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's all good because what we'll do anyway, as we go more into the session, we're gonna go into something called Killer Line, which wraps up the profile. But when we go more down the session, I'm gonna talk to you about what we do next, which is like we do a one-to-one in the future. So we're able to actually help you put together that profile. So actually help you like word it and stuff and phrase, put it all together and stuff. This is not the end. This is not just the event.
yeah,
There's more to it to become Dan approved in the sense where we're building a community of young people from walks of life that are ready for the world of work and also gone through our training programs ideally, and that's the key thing. That's what we want to be able to do. Um yeah, cool. All right. I'm gonna go back into the main session. But what I'll probably do is give it a couple minutes and then get everyone back in. But I'm gonna see if Finn's return back into the main and then probably get him in here with you just for a bit. But
yeah, no,
sorry
that's fine.
about that in terms of what's happened and stuff.
No, it's all good.
All
No, not to
right.
worry. Yeah,
Uh,
it's just right now I'm just trying to like apply for different types of jobs. So I've been looking at media, kind of marketing, film and TV, even like runner jobs as well. So it's I have like
yeah.
kind of three CVs all kind of slightly different from each other. But
Okay.
it's just like I feel like it's just a profile, just have something where it just looks like I can do this job.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have a few places that will be good for you to look at, but we'll definitely discuss that more in the one-to-one,
Yeah, that's fine.
110%.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Uh, I can see, yeah. What's happened is that yeah, I think Finn's dropped out.
Oh no.
I don't, yeah. So basically, I got him into the meeting with Furman, but then when I saw the breakout room, I didn't see um him joining. Sort of similar stuff happened to like what was it? I think it was not Wader, but it was it might have been Furman. Yeah, that happened to him. Then he came back in. Yeah, when he came back into the session that time, if you remember, then I had to
Oh,
bring him
yeah.
back in. So I don't know if it's a connection issue.
Oh no.
Just my luck. But what I've done, I've put Furman in the breakout room with the other two girls. They're being
Hmm.
Florence, and then I'll bring them back in, and then we'll go into there's a last activity, and then there's other bits that I'm just going to take them through, and then
Hmm.
wrap up the session.
Some.
But yeah, I've made a note anyway about Finn, so I'm not too sure what's happened that side. But yeah, it is a shame. Finn, so let's put down on, uh, yeah, I hope you're enjoying it anyway, regardless.
No, no, it's great. It's really important. informative is the right word, but personable. So like they're thinking about themselves rather than the
Mm.
classic just sit and listen to what someone says. They're actually thinking about how it applies to them.
Yeah,
I think that's really great.
definitely. Okay. Cool. Okay. Femin, I obviously put you in the other room. Just Finn hasn't come back, so it might be a technical side of things. But either way, it's been recorded, so we will obviously send over to him. Cool. So I know obviously I spoke to you about a few things already, so I'm gonna move on to Debbie. I'm gonna go to you. I don't know, are you able to speak on camera, or do you want to still type? What's your situation right now? And obviously Florence, I know you we spoke about your meet the profile just earlier. Um but yeah, Debbie, just want to make sure that I'm including you in that sense. Are you able to speak on camera or just about the meet the profile side of things?
Yeah, I can speak.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So obviously you were in the meeting room with Florence. So what sort of thing did you I've got your profile by the way. Just I'm gonna bring it here. Yeah, you obviously talk about your passion start with fashion industry, start from home. Clothing colors always been part of your life, coming from a Nigerian household, and then someone who's neurodivergent. Talking about language to express yourself, and your passion for social media grew during your degree in fashion marketing. So that's really cool. Interesting story. So I guess what's made you curious in regards to the fashion side of things in marketing? Um, that's sort of like what did you speak to Florence about in that sense?
Um, we spoke about because during my degree I did my dissertation in Black women in the luxury fashion space, and during that time, that was in 2022. There was a lot of massive brands who face a lot of racist allegations, such as Gucci, Comme des Garçons, like, and just other brands like Prada, of that time, and just a lack of diversity. Like, for example, like you don't really see with most of these fashion houses, it's mainly white men who dominate those spaces and who's kind of it's from their perspective. And so I'm trying to remember where I'm leading with this. That's why I'm quite passionate about
That's all
fashion.
good.
It's kind of like having your voice kind of heard and seen. But since that time, fashion has really grown and changed. We had
Mhm.
Emmanuel, who was the chief um, of Vogue, but he's now given it to another lady called is it Chinwe? Chioma. She's now the
Okay.
chief executive of Vogue Britain. So we have come a long way, but there still needs to be more diverse voices.
Yeah, yeah, and I think what you're saying there is really key. I can obviously relate it to even like just talking about like TV and film content creation. Like we're seeing lot more representation of um black or minority ethnics on TV, but there still needs to come definitely a long way. And what you mentioned there is good because you can talk about particular, I say even like projects that you possibly come across, or you can talk about the various um themes or the various sort of things that you've seen that has kind of pushed and elevated fashion marketing within minority ethnics or within um I guess young people or just general people that don't get the opportunity, that don't get like the actual opportunity to kind of like, for example, if you're seeing your favorite music artist being pushed as remarketing rather than seeing like it's an influencer that you might always see that have appeared on like so many reality TV shows, and it's like, oh, it's kind of nice to see someone different and to see this person, and then you kind of see that person on there, you're like, oh, I could possibly also be part of that and work with them, so yeah, what you've mentioned there is really really key, and
Yeah,
it's important as well.
yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like even speaking with Florence, we spoke about film briefly. I'm sure she's going to go on to speak about it, but I think it's important to show. I don't know. I feel like during the early stages of Love Island, I felt like one was the first black person to come on Love Island. I can't recall what their name was. I felt like they felt a lot of pressure to represent a whole community, but
Hmm.
through over time, I want to see different types of people from different like ethnicities, like whether if they're neurodivergent or maybe the
Hmm.
LGBTQ plus community, like very different personalities. I don't want
Hmm.
us to be seen as like a homogenous group of people because we're all very different in our own different ways.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think with Love Island, they've done well with that in regards to from one of the seasons that I watched. I know there was someone that was, I believe they might have been deaf, I think, or couldn't hear, or I think there was someone that, yeah, so like they really made it extremely inclusive and brought in just various parameters to ensure that they are looking in all areas as well. So that was really key. And it's good that you're sort of looking into the various like content and various things that's happening and kind of thinking, okay, you can see the improvements, but this is what's making you curious and want to make your voice heard as well. So yeah, thanks for that. Appreciate that. Cool. Okay. So obviously, Flora, I know obviously you mentioned your stuff already in terms of like the different certain art styles and stuff, and obviously Furman, we spoke about that in the session. So are we all good to say that the media profile, you all feel confident about that? And we can move on to the last, which is the killer line, which can be done actually in the session here. And then I'll talk to you about what happens post session. Okay, cool. Okay, so again, if you're starting from scratch, this is how the media profile could look like, your reason behind your transition into the field. So you might be someone that is into you could be a tradesman, you could be someone that's into finance, for example, but you're going into media. So again, what's your reason behind the transition into the field, etc. All these sort of things. Yes, and you raise your hand. I
Is
just
it
see.
meant to be like a slideshow? Was it?
Oh my God. So sorry about that. Yeah, there is meant to be a slideshow. I just haven't shared the screen. I'm sorry about that. I thought I was still sharing. My God.
Yeah, it's all good.
Apologies. Yeah, here we go. Uh, cool. Appreciate that. Okay, so yeah, that's if you're starting from scratch. And then the last one we're going to go into here, this is really the wrap up bit of your profile, is the killer line. And I'm going to go around the room and just kind of look into think about your past, present, or future. So you can see here is one thing that you're currently doing, one thing that you plan to do, one thing that you have done to personally stand out from the crowd. So I'm going to showcase you Aisha's killer line, and you can just choose one, past, present, or future. I think I'll choose all of them. I'm going to show you Aisha's killer line, and I want you to just have a think about what does your killer line involve? What is it? What is one thing what are you going to pick, past, present, or future? So you're going to see exactly what Aisha's put together here, and then I'll have you sort of go into your killer line. So again, I want you to kind of like dissect this, look at this, and think about the differences between the two, and then actually we'll go around the room and think about what your killer line could sound like or look like in that idea. Does that all make sense, everyone? Just making sure. Okay. Cool. Just think about the key words that Aisha's used here as well, but obviously for the right reasons, of course. And what I can see she's changed certain areas in there before. Okay, cool. So Debbie, I'll come to you. Um, just in regards to what did you take away from this killer line in terms of what Aisha's put together? Obviously, understanding that this is things that she's written in the past before and stuff. And what sort of differences have you seen between the two?
Um. Oh. Okay. So in the first one, she was like kind of using keywords such as learning, developing, like an ongoing thing. Whereas in the second one, she's like kind of showcased what she's actually done. So,
Hmm.
she has written an article about the Yemen crisis, and she's currently producing articles and podcasts on the BLM and Black History Month. So she's showcasing what she's actually done instead of just saying it.
Yeah, yeah. So kind of making sure you've got that point, give an example explanation, which is obviously key. So backing herself up in terms of this is what I've learned across my journey now, I learned all the stuff in news, understanding that the components, the how a news package comes together and all that sort of stuff, and then now gone on to do this sort of stuff to create her own work experience in that sense. Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. I'm just gonna go around the room. Florence, I'll start with you. We'll do this really, really brief and then we'll go into the other bits and then we'll wrap up the session just a bit. I know obviously probably gonna go a little bit over time just due to some technical stuff we had in the past.
Mm.
But just in regards to a killer line, so I'm just gonna start off. First of all, are you gonna choose past, present, or future? Something that you've done in the past, something that you um are doing now or something that you'd like to do in the future in regards to your field of media, so the art, the drawing, um writing, etc. uh
Um, with
yeah.
mine, I would most likely. Oh, this is a mixture, but
Mm.
if I'm talking about video editing and film, I'll talk about past projects that I've done, things that I've done in order to express my passion for it. So I'll most likely
Mm.
talk about projects or just projects that I've done myself, maybe show my page because I have a page based around my portfolio basically where I just put up my photography. I'm starting to put up my video editing up on there, but I do have some YouTube videos on it. So I'll most likely talk about that stuff. But in terms
Mm.
of when it comes to film and diversity and how I want to bring that more into the table, I'll talk more about the future going like I haven't started yet, but in future this is what I want to see for in for well the direction I want to see the film industry go into or like media.
Okay, that's really interesting because actually what you can then do is talk about you could actually tap into perhaps the key themes of what you'd like to see, what is it that to even be more specific and then actually talking about I'd actually like to obtain an internship, obtain an apprenticeship, obtain a placement, etc. With you haven't got to say a specific company, but you can obviously say with an agency, for
Mm-hmm.
example, to learn X, Y, Z, so that what a company or an employer can kind of see is okay, this is what Florence is sort of looking for, this is what she's kind of striving for, and then they kind of they understand exactly where and what you're trying to do in terms of your creative journey. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay. Cool. Debbie, I'll go to you and then Furman, I'll come to you in regards to that killer line. So Debbie, I guess what is it in regards to, you talked about obviously fashion marketing, but is there a project that you've done before, something that you've done in the past, something that you plan to do? So past, present, or future in regards to that killer line for you.
For me, it would be past. I was
Okay.
on Brixton Finishing School.
Oh,
Last.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, they're one of our partners, yeah. So you probably found out about Richmond for School
Yes.
Food. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
So
cool.
I'll be using that example because my brief was for Kurt Geiger, so which is a fashion
Okay.
brand. So that nicely really links in.
Yeah, okay. Cool. And then with Kurt Geiger, I guess what you could say is it something that you'd like to do with them? Oh, sorry. Talking about a project that you've done with them. So obviously, yeah, you could talk about, be specific about the things that you've done with them,
Yeah.
or something that maybe you had to brainstorm a particular
Oh,
um campaign on, yeah, etc.
yeah. So I did a campaign with Kurt Geiger with my team, and I guess I can just showcase what I did. So I was kind of in charge of planning the budget and what medias we will be on, what influencers we want to be using, the overall presentation, and also I do create content, so showcasing that. I recently did a video um with a Stanley Cup, and I think it currently has like 4.1 million views or something like that. So I guess
Okay.
showcasing that okay, this is what I do on social media, like showing concrete proof. And then I have my podcast, so showcasing the visual aspect of
Okay.
what. And what else? I also write on Substack, so my written ability. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay. No, that's really cool. I think what you could always do is just keep it always focused, and you can pick even just one of those, because obviously what we're doing today and with this profile, you're creating a story for when you actually get to application interview stage. You're able to the employer will be able to pick up your CV and say, okay, Debbie, okay, you mentioned this in your CV. Talk more about that Kogaga experience, and then
Yeah.
actually you actually understand your CV and experiences more, and then you can actually delve a bit more into that. So key into that, okay, how did you acquire those? How did you acquire getting to 1 million views, and what did you do? What are the processes? When did you post? So that's questions you never know that marketing could ask you, and then also just how, so maybe you use certain scheduling content tools, you listened out to you done focus groups, all these sort of things. It's just an example, just on things, but yeah, you're on the right lines in regards to your killer line there. Cool.
Okay. Like focusing on those two, or the.
Yeah, yeah, it could be the one. If you're going to implement something else, then you sort of tie it in really nicely. But you want to kind of be focused on one where it allows the employer to kind of understand that this is what you did, and then you can tie it back to your fashion marketing. But either way, the other ones that you have, you could always tailor your CV and always just, use that killer line and then use that killer line, use that killer line. So you can always just chop and change it if you had to in that sense. Does that make sense? I think I don't know if Debbie's frozen actually. She might have froze. Can everyone else still hear me? Just double checking. Um, Furman, I'm gonna come to you and then we're gonna go into the call. I've had the worst of technical difficulties today. We're getting through.
Yeah,
We're nearly there. We're nearly there.
I think it's just like because like near night time, so it's just kind of
Yeah,
computers
maybe
just giving up and or phones or
I'll
just
make this an early morning session for next time, 9:30 a.m. everyone. Okay. So Furman, I'm gonna come to you. Just in regards to Killer Line, then obviously I'll wrap up. the session in terms of the other bits. So just in terms of the killer line, what would you say using the past, present, or future?
So in the
Yeah.
past, I'll say that I was an actor in this film, but I was also kind of involved with shaping up with the idea and creating this film where it was about a uni student who commits suicide, and in the film it just talks about like the mental health issues and just like what kind of led up to those kind of issues and how it happened. And then I mean we won an award. Well, I mean I won one, but I like to say we, but
Yeah.
and yeah, so it kind of talks about like the mental health issues in young people. Then when it came to an assignment one time where we had to make a film about the UN sustainable goals. So it was
Mhm.
about like reducing waste, kind of water, life on land, and just so knowing about the UN goals and kind of what kind of social impacts it does to people, I want to
Yeah.
implement it more going forward.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No, that makes a lot of sense. I think obviously tapping into the mental health issues that you mentioned about, you could obviously even just tie in that killer line, wrap it up and talk about how the award even gave recognition, how important those issues are within the film, and then obviously how the audience are able to, I'm assuming obviously there was like Q&A and excuse me, you're able to obviously talk more about those mental health issues that people are actually going through. So that award kind of shaped the film in regards to getting more recognition, more spotlight into understanding why people go through what they go through in a sense, and then obviously just kind of even acquiring more knowledge around mental health, which is really, really key. Um, cool. Okay. How does everyone feel about that killer line? Meet the profile and the opening line. All make sense to everyone and feeling confident so far about your
Yeah,
CV profiles. Yeah,
yeah, more confident about it to
yeah,
officially start it.
yeah. Cool. All right. So we're coming near to the end of the session. I'm just going to go through a few more things just to kind of let you understand what happens post session and stuff. Okay. So again, if you're starting from scratch, this is kind of how you would look at it. In regards to think about what you're doing now, typical skill set within the creative field, and then think about one thing you've always wanted to achieve creatively, for example. So maybe someone's just completely new to media and they're like, okay, I want to create my own master, I want to create my own film, I want to create my own social media viral video, but all for the right reasons and why, etc. in that sense. Okay, cool. So here we are. We have Aisha's final profile all put together in one. And as I said, it might look really, really big on here, but it is really short on the CV. It's just that we filled the slide with her profile, but you can obviously see this is her profile now. And this is where Aisha is now. So Aisha's gone on to work for Sky News. She started at Sky News on a traineeship for 12 months. And then she went on to actually be a producer. So she's actually a producer for Sky News where she might be working right now actually, late nights and early mornings, just covering various stories. So obviously she would obviously be definitely across everything that's going on with like, the Trump stuff, Elon Musk, everything like that. But she's enjoying every moment of it and we're really happy and proud for her where she's gone to. Um, cool. Okay. Just to kind of run you through a few more things, who's Dan approved and what it kind of means. As you can see, this is Vincent to my left, and then this is Daryl to my right. Um, Vincent has worked on the repair shop in the past, and Daryl's worked on the apprentice. So some of our young people that are Dan approved have gone on to do some amazing stuff. And obviously, as you can see, you came on a donate what you can scheme as well. And here is Aoife, who's been hired in the past. You see, that's a previous workshop we had in the past where she is into graphic design. I guess the Mac kind of gives it away with all the design stuff that she has there. But it kind of just goes to show that a lot of the young people that we meet in person. So you can kind of see here, this is our in-person workshop, and some that we meet online. managed to go away and get into jobs or even land an interview or just even be able to land a project in that sense. Cool. Okay, so this is just kind of like show and tell here. And you can also obviously write notes, and again, this is gonna be sent over to you as a recording. But this is just to kind of give you like a little brief in terms of you have your profile now, but here's your key skills element. And the key skills is really important because you want to showcase to an employer why you resonate with X key skill. So if you're determined, as Aisha did say in her thing, in her CV, if you are someone that is adaptable, if you're someone that's willing to learn, you need to showcase these things. Now, on your CV, you might not be able to actually showcase it as I've written it here. As you know, you can put your bullet points and obviously explain it, but you might be able to showcase it in a task that you've done. So if you're willing to learn, it's not enough just saying you're willing to learn. You need to showcase that in the task that you've done within your work experience or within the work that you've done because employers hear it all the time. I've seen it so many times. I'm flexible, adaptable, hardworking, determined, all nice adjectives, but employers want to see a bit more as to back yourself up. So we like to call it point, example, explanation, right? So you've got your point, example, and explanation, as they say, and I hate to say it, that key on your work, as they taught us in English. But it's really important that you do that when you're actually writing your CV. Okay, and then here's a bit of the cover letter, just to kind of showcase you. You'll get this as a template post session. It's just kind of just showcasing you what a cover letter looks like, and what you should be including in paragraph 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mainly really is why you want to work for the company. Is all about, one, their values. One of our values is empathy, one of our values is being relatable. And that all ties into, again, the empathy side is like the donate what you can scheme, and actually companies backing themselves up and understanding exactly what that is. Is it all making sense so far to everyone? All good? Any questions so far on cover letter or key skills? I'm happy to kind of go into that. No? Okay, cool. All right, so what happens next? Guess everyone's very curious, and some that had the technical difficulties will get in touch with. You're going to get personalized support in your creating your CV profile. So this is not where it ends. We'll get in touch with you. Nicole will get in touch with you, where you have one-to-one session with myself, post workshop to finalize your CV, and there's additional support for searching for opportunities and access to mentoring. Right? What you can expect as well, you become Dan approved. This is what this session is all about, becoming Dan approved. And every Friday we post these opportunities in our WhatsApp group. So that could range from TV and film, marketing, graphic design. The list does go on. We could be here all day if I list every single area of media that we cover. But we look to cover various areas within media and ensure that you can apply for things that's in London, sometimes outside London. There could just be a scheme that you could be involved in, interested in that sense. Cool. Creative Mental Network, one of our partners, they run mentoring programs, and they help young people, support them on their journey with mentoring. What you can see here, there is eligibility criteria, but if you're not eligible, don't worry so much. There are still other things that they do that can help and support you. But Nicole will be sending more information about access to mentoring and how that helps you in that sense. And also they run free regular events. So, you're always open to go to those events through us and just through their schemes as well. All making sense to everyone? All good? I'm going to have to take off my headphones for this next bit because I'm sure everyone can hear me still. This feels quite weird for me taking my headphones off. But basically, I'm going to showcase you that one of our things here. Oh,
Okay, that's right.
I'm not trying to make everyone hungry. I know this is really cool to do, but we are sponsored by Yard Sale Pizza. Initially, if you were at one of our in-person workshops, you'll be indulging one of these brownies. So just showcasing you this video, just to showcase, to say scan this QR code, follow Yard Sale Pizza. But also, if you do find yourself at one of the Yard Sale Pizzas, feel free to get some pizza.
No, good. Yeah. I know. But that is good. You know how you know it's good? You know it's good when it's cold. It's so good. In the middle. We love it. We love eating our self pizza.
Cool. So this is Jartel Pizza, their homemade brownies. I will definitely owe all of you a brownie because you're both thinking, Dan, that's unfair. You just show us some really good brownies, and then like I'm not giving brownies. But if you come to one of our events, I'm sure you'll be able to indulge one of the brownies. Um, and last but not least, we are self-funded. You can want to donate what you can, which basically means anyone can donate anything as little as £1 to attend this sort of event. So, feel free to support us if you did really enjoy the session. Scan the QR code and support us with coffee. I'm leaving also a link in here. Obviously Nicole will send that across to you next week or either tomorrow. Uh, and yeah, just to sort of wrap up the session, we have obviously more bite-sized media workshops here. You will get more information about this from Nicole as well, but you can see this is Nicole showcasing the pain points that we go through. So our next session, which is next month, will be on interviews. So you might want to join that session there. And then we have all the other sessions as well that we're running throughout the year. So feel free to scan this as well. And yeah, that is the end of the session. Just to recap on everything that we spoke about: open line media profile, Kinderline, the key skills cover letter. I hope that all makes sense to everyone. I appreciate everyone staying back as well. We had some that dropped out, I guess, just due to technical difficulties. But I hope that's all helped everyone, and I hope you've all enjoyed the session. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me now, or you can always ask by email. But you've all been a pleasure to teach, and it's been a blessing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
was very helpful, by the way.
Nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, fam.